precinct did you select? 66 Southeast. 66 Southeast, that is Farragut High School. So we are going to pull the machine for Farragut High School. We're going to have some ballots printed for Farragut High School. Does everybody agree that's 66 Southeast?
We are conducting a public machine test, and the public machine test is required in all 95 counties prior to every election. It's required by Tennessee law. And essentially what we're doing is we are selecting a precinct. The Knox County Election Commission just randomly selected one of our 103 precincts. The one precinct that was selected, those machines, they literally were brought here by a team of Republicans and Democrats. So a Republican and a Democrat literally got in their vehicle and transported those machines here. And then we printed those ballots off-site for that precinct at another location and had them transported here. We make sure that every candidate gets at least one vote. We make sure that every race gets at least one overvote, meaning at least 2 candidates are voted for in that race to make sure that the computer catches it. We make sure that every race has at least one undervote so that nobody votes in that race to prove that the computer catches it. And then we have one write-in in every single race where we make sure that that the computer catches the write-in feature. Ultimately, our job is to make sure that the machines are ready to go and they can read the ballots as they are meant to be read.
We are pleased to see that the scanner correctly reported voter errors that we intentionally marked on the ballots before we scanned them.
Senate, Marquita Bradshaw, 1.
We did encounter a different source of error, and that was human error in hand counting the ballots. We weren't necessarily pleased to see that because then we had to go back and hand count the ballots again. It's typical, however. Almost every time we do this, we run into a discrepancy between the scan results and the hand counted results, and we have to go back and hand count the ballots again. And we in fact find that we miscounted them the first time and the machine was correct.
Too many choices are marked, this contest will not be counted. And at that point, our voter can spoil this ballot, and they can get another one and make their choices again, or they can cast the ballot as is, which is what we're going to do today.
This test also does something else in that it shows the fallacy of hand counting paper ballots. A lot of these countries where we see hand counting, there's one race on the ballot. Depending on where you live in Knox County, you're going to have between 8 and 11 races on your ballot. And therefore, it's really important that we make sure we get it right, and we're making sure that that machine is counted properly.
Gloria Johnson, 1.
We've never had an occurrence where we had an error inside the logic in the machine. It's always been a human counting error.
We're required by law to invite the candidates, to invite the press, and to invite the public to observe this test.
When the public is present, we learn a little bit more about the public thought process and ways that we can better serve the public and meet the concerns that the public has about the voting process, number one. Number two, it helps us feel more confident about our process, and it helps us improve our process.
We want to be fully transparent and show folks that everything is done properly, that everything is done with checks and balances. We have multiple sets of paperwork, everything from 0 tapes that show that when the machine was programmed and when it's turned on, there are 0 votes on it. A tally tape at the end of voting that shows the number of votes that were cast in each race. We have what's called an AM, PM report, an AM meaning morning, obviously, PM meaning evening. We turn the machines on in the morning. Here are the numbers that show the serial number of the machine, the seal number that it's locked up with. We show that for every machine, and then we show in the evening the same things. They have not changed. And then we tally the number of votes and we list those on those sheets as another piece of documentation. And then all of that, they're all signed by at least 3 officials in the polling place, the officer in charge, and at least 1 member of each party, Democratic and Republican.
I'm a voter in Knox County. My vote matters to me. I trust our machines, I trust our process, and I think all voters in Knox County should.